All right, our last surface area video is that of composite figures, and you're definitely going to want some highlighters for this video because we're talking about different pieces. The easiest way to find the surface area of a composite figure is to actually find the surface area of individual pieces. So I'm actually going to cut this up into pieces. We'll have more than one of each of those and move on from there. I'm going to start with this piece. Okay, and we do need to find the measurements of that piece. So for instance, if this is 10 down here, this is 10, which means this is 10, which means this is 10, which means this is 10. Okay, so that'll help us some. We also need the dimensions this way, which we know those because since this is 80 and this is 60, all that's left is 20, which means that yellow portion is 10 times 20, which is 200. Okay, so that took care of that yellow portion there. Okay, so we're done with that one. Let's talk about this section here. Okay, so we have 10 by, we don't know what this length is right now, so we should probably find it. Okay, here's how we find it. So the whole length here is 60, which means from here all the way up would have been 60. But this piece is 40, so that means this section and this section is 20. So that orange one is also 10 times 20, which is 200. Okay, when we're done, we're going to add all these pieces together. All right, now we're going to start breaking them into pieces. So I'm just going to draw a straight line down, and I'm going to create this piece. And there are actually 3 of those pieces, and I'll kind of talk about where they are. No, there's only 2, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to color this in. Just going to keep going, it's a red highlighter, but that's okay. So I'm talking about this section, and there are actually 2 of these. There's the front one we see here, and there's also the back one. Okay, so we're going to count this as 2 sections. And this is a 20 by a 60. So we're going to do 20 by 60, which is 2 times 6 is 12. So it should be 1200. Yep, 1200. But there are 2 of them, so it's 2400 for both. Okay, and that is this red section here. There's 200. Sorry, there's 2 of them, not 200. So we've got the front and back of that one. We are going to go ahead, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but we're going to find this section as well, and there is only one of those. Okay, so this back section, it's 60 by 10, or 10 by 60, which is 600. So that's that pink section there. Okay. All right, now we're just going to keep on chugging along here. Let's find the bottom section right here. Okay, and that's 80 by 10, which is 800. And that's that bottom section. Okay, just keep on moving. We haven't found this section, and there's actually 2 of them because there's the front one and then there's the back one. So we'll multiply this answer by 2, and this is a 60 by 20, which is 1200 times 2 is 2400. And that's this section here. Okay, we only have 2 more pieces. We have this piece, and there's only one of those, and that's a 10 by 40. I have to move on down here, 10 by 40, which is 400. Okay, and I have this section, which is a 10 by 60, which is 600. Right, now we have all the pieces, and we're going to add them all together. So 200 plus 200 plus 400 plus 2400 plus 600 plus 600 plus 800 plus 2400. And that gives us 7,600 millimeters squared. So that's kind of a big shape there, but that's okay. That's how those work. All right, example 2. This one is just a little bit different, and you're going to see how. So surface area is literally what is sticking outside, okay? I have the box, all right? My problem is going to be when I get to this piece, okay? I have one of these on top, but my problem is I have to remove it from the bottom. I'm actually accidentally counting it twice, okay? That's not showing at all. When I find the surface area of this rectangle, I will actually count it once. But then when I find the surface area of this prism, this cylinder, I'll count it again, which means when I'm finished, I'm going to have to actually subtract the area of that circle twice, okay? So I'm going to kind of erase this and okay. All right, so let's find the surface area. Now I will tell you, instead of breaking it into pieces, this one's a little more simple. So I actually could, and I could have done this with the last one. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. I can find the surface area of the prism by using the formula for both, and then subtract that triangle, that circle. I could have done the same thing here. I could have done the surface area formula for this rectangle prism, the surface area for this rectangular prism, and subtracted this piece right here twice. I could have done that as well. All right, so that's how we're going to do this one. So the surface area of a prism, you have the perimeter times the height plus 2b. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. Or for the cylinder, you have pi, 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. And I will be subtracting 2 pi r squared. So let's think about this. If we are going to be adding these together, but we're going to be subtracting 2 pi r squared because we're going to subtract 2 circles, we don't need to do this, and then we don't have to subtract. So what we are literally doing is adding the surface area of the prism to the lateral area of the cylinder. So the perimeter, 40 plus 25, calculator go, there it is, 40 plus 25 plus 40 plus 25, it's 130, times the height is 10, plus 2 times 40 times 25, 1,000, plus 2 times pi times the radius is 5 times 10. And it does say rounds to nearest whole number because we've got that pi thing going on there. So 130 times 10 plus 2 times 1,000 plus 2 times pi times 5 times 10. A whole lot going on there. 3,614 centimeters squared. Okay, so that is surface area. You can either add all the pieces, or you can do the formulas and subtract off pieces you don't need.